Hmm. Okay, so welcome everyone. Today, the annual general meeting of GENOA in 2026, looking back at 2025. And yeah, so today we have some members of the councils and the ops of GENOA. And since I hope we can get Robina to be here when we bless the new council. So let's start with just a general opening of the meeting. We have as GENOA Incorporated association register in Australia. We have a standard procedure for our AGM every year, and it will start with some opening remarks from our public officer, which is Trudy. Sitting in the organization of the Inc. There's also me and me as secretary and Na as the treasurer. But yeah, Trudy, maybe I can head over to you to just kind of open us up before we dive into the small details of the day.
Thanks, Ken. Yeah, and welcome everyone to our official annual general meeting of GENOA, our AGM for 2026. It's always very nice to be here in this space with all of you, dear friends, old friends, people I really love and trust for many years. So it's really nice to be here. And yeah, looking forward to hearing about the year past, 2025, for our last, I guess that's our official year of running. And as we go into this financial year of 2026. So also noting in Australia, the financial year is usually from the 1st of July to the 30th of June. But for GENOA, when we registered to have our financial year from the 1st of January to the 31st of December. And it just makes our accounting just much easier. Yeah, so looking forward to hearing some of those, what's been going on and official figures. And yeah, welcome. Wanya, over to you, Kin.
Thank you, Trudy. Yeah, and we will, as part of an official part, we will need to approve the previous AGM's meeting. I'll ask Na to help to pop the notes in the chat, but it's also hyperlinked into the meeting notes of today. We had our last AGM of 2025 quite late in May last year, with Trudy was there with Amena, Luvian, Na and me, and it was the last call that we had Luvian because Luvian said goodbyes to us last year. And if you want, you can scan through the AGM notes from last year, and I'll just also stop my screen to see if there's any questions, or if you're okay with blessing the notes from last year and then continue with this year. So if I can have your hands up, your actual hands or Zoom hand, if you're okay to go forward. Okay, thank you. Super. So let's start with the first part of welcoming new council member, because will have to leave us very soon, and you can catch up with the activity report and the financial report through the recording after. So yeah, we have had quite a very refreshing year with the council. Last year we had seven in total strategy meetings with the councils, facilitated by Robina. And at the end of that process, we felt a bit more grounded and ready to open the council for new members. And also we had Karen and Amena, who decided to leave the council at the end of last year to focus on other priorities. And we have invited Trudy back into the council. We also invited and Robina to the council. And we have Talea and Benjamin, who have been here for many years and are still very, very dedicated to the council as well. So yeah, I would love to just invite as an official welcome or welcome back to Trudy's case to the council. Maybe just check in with us how you are coming back into this space with GENOA, and then Talia and me and Na can go after you with some welcome to really officially welcome you to the council. And we'll add Robina once she's here. So and Trudy, anything you want to say, anything on top of your mind when thinking about stepping back into the space? You're muted.
I think in my mind, I never fully step out. I was not so active, but GENOA has been in my mind since I was involved as a next gen leader. So even though I didn't quite sure, I wasn't always sure where we go about with the network, but with a lot of trust, and then also experiencing it myself when I doing Gaia Ashram, knowing that how network means a lot for emerging projects and emerging interests and the growing movement. So I always believe that the network sometimes, even though it's not like a well-established network, it is there, and then people always feel that there is something they can connect themselves to the bigger movement. So I'm always I never fully step out of it. I always believe in it. And just recently that I feel like we are a bit more the work we do at Gaia Ashram is also start to extend to more in the regions, and then we have a regional network of people who are our alumni. And I also feel like it is about time now where we should come back to the face-to-face gathering and doing a next general training again. So I start to looking into the fundraising opportunity and actually submit it already. And I think like, okay, if it passed, then maybe we can, I would propose to Genoa, like, should we do again the next Genoa training and also a networking gathering and stuff like that too, you know. Yeah, so that is the reason I coming back. I feel like we need to be more than we need to support the next generation to step up, to take leadership in the network as well. So, I'm happy to be back, especially with Trudy's. It's like it means like it's been so long since we last collaborated, and now it's like I got back because I think okay, maybe you can do that again. Before we get too old, that people have to say 5 times when they want to talk to us.
Um, Yeah, I was just thinking that like I was also excited to step back in knowing that you were gonna step in, you know. It was like an extra motivation. And when Kin asked that question, I thought the same thing, you know, like actually felt like I didn't leave, you know, like I've always been there, and I've got this Genoa, you know, the flower of life, this tattoo on my back, and I said it's always Genoa is my family. I'm never gonna ever leave. But I actually got back to the memory when we first met. When I actually first came into Genoa, I was actually with you through Next Genoa in 2012. in Sri Lanka. We met in Sri Lanka, you know, and I remember we were dreaming of like the spirit of education, the spirit journey that you and Tom did in Thailand, and then all the other things that came from that and the EDEs we did together. Yeah, it was a very special time. Yeah, so I feel similar actually, and you know, still always doing the same kind of work. You know, like I'm planning to do a mini EDE with Shane. Do you remember Shane? Shane lives about 3 hours south of me, and he's got a family. He's got 3 kids, but he's still in the Ecovillage movement. He's got his own community, so we're planning to do a mini EDE together in August, September. And then there's lots of other things. I'm not so involved with Gen Australia, but yeah, but I'm really happy to be back and also would love to. I've said this to Kin and Na, but just to really have in mind more of to be in the action space rather than in the talking space. I think as I get older, like I want to do more and talk less, if that makes sense. Yeah. So yeah, I'm just coming with that kind of lens as well, but happy to be here. Yeah. Thank you for inviting.
Thank you, and Trudy, for the willingness to continue deepening your involvement, knowing that, yeah, you have never left and you have always been very active in different spaces. But thank you for stepping back into the GENOA core space. And I would like to say the same with Robina as well, but she's not here yet. And let's, just for the interest of time, because does have to go very soon, I would love to invite the rest of us who have been here through the last year. So there's Talea, and welcome Benjamin, George. There's Na and me. I'm also not sure about whether we should do like a full sociocratic process of proposal and approval, but we can do it in that spirit, like the proposal is that we're gonna have Trudy, and Robina joining us as GENOA Council members together with Talea and George Benjamin. And Na and I will remains in the ops and support. We'll talk more about that later, how ops and council will interact. But for now, let's just, I would love to hear if you have any concerns, any questions around the proposal of bringing Trudy, and Robina back into GENOA's core space and be part of the GENOA Council members. So let's just leave a moment if there's any comments, question, concern want to be spoken before we officially approve.
I'd just like to echo the sentiments of what Trudy has said as well with regards to, I'm very excited to have you back on board as a council member this time. And, you know, what an action pack full of council members we do have. That is very much needed. We've been holding space for a little bit of time, and I've had to step in and out myself due to many different things, personal and medical. So I understand, Ken, what you are also proposing and moving through, and giving you my aroha, my love, to you and your partner during this time, because it's a very, very intense time. And it could be very, how can I say, sometimes we don't see what's ahead of us when we think we do. There are other waves that come. So please let us know how we can support you. During my time, Trudy supported me, and so did the beautiful Robina, who has just joined us. And so I'm really wanting to celebrate Robina saying yes to coming on board. I know how busy this amazing wisdom keeper is, but action-packed she is. And I celebrate the fact that Robina is also a part of our council for GENOA at this time. It was Robina that introduced me to GENOA. So we've come full circle, Robina, and I'm just really, really happy that I'll be working alongside you in this forum. As you all know, we work alongside each other in other forums as well. So that's, just so happy. I have no more words apart from my heart is bursting right now. And yeah, I see a wonderful future ahead of us. Kia ora. Thank you.
Kia ora. Thank you.
Welcome, Robina. I have just shared with everyone the proposal of inviting you, Robina, and Trudy as official council members of GENOA, and we'll just at a round of reactions, comments, concerns, and I would love it if we can hear if there's any other voices want to be heard, and then we can move towards celebrating or approving it before has to go.
Yep, just kia ora, hi, sabai di, And just before disappears, on another matter briefly, I noticed with delight that the Permaculture Convergence and Conference is in Thailand towards the end of November, and it's online pretty well. And it'll be really cool if those of us, even thinking about it, goodness knows global situation then, we're in a very tumultuous time. But if we schedule something, a face-to-face meet in connection with that timing, it would be so awesome. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And I have to go now. I wish you all have a good AGM time together. And
Can you just stay for one photo as let's also approve officially this proposal and then take a photo together as a celebration of it. So you can do however you want to show your approval or celebration. It's my screen. Yay, thank you. Thanks,
Have a good time.
Oh, it's great to see you again.
Yes, so good. Enjoy the meeting. I will catch up with the minute. Okay, bye.
Bye, Robina and George, would you like to do a quick check-in with us? How are you arriving?
Robina, do you want to go ahead? You're speaking, but you're muted.
So kia ora tātou. Hi everybody. In terms of the theme of Ecovillage, I am so heartfelt and buzzing with having completed 5 sessions with Charlie, my partner, of Diana Leaf Christian's workshop online of conflict resolution and community. It gave me so much tools, sort of had plenty. I got another whole toolbox and another whole inner perception and inner commitment to that work, and I see how critical this human to human interface is in our community, our communities and our ecovillage, like how vital in order for anything to happen, our common purposes. So having quite a struggle here at our community at Trudy at the moment, a lot of learnings to apply to the situations, and my main focus, like almost taking all of my time, is the permaculture coordination coming up quite soon, and loving it, but it's a bit daunting in terms of being a time grabber and just rolling with that. Yep, glad to be on this council, and thank you. Thank you, Jay.
Did people just drop out, or?
No, it's just Trudy turn off her camera and you can go.
Oh, doesn't show on my phone. Hi, everyone. And I am sorry, first of all, that I'm late. I got home late from my son's soccer practice and had some things to do and forgot about our meeting. I needed to prepare some oregano juice for Amena who had a fever. So yeah, it just slipped off my mind, and then I saw the messages and said, "Oh yes." So my apologies. Also for Trudy, I think, Robina, you were here last time when we talked about my name. So at December 2024, I shifted, starting using my last first name, which is George. And Benjamin George works fine, but if that's a bit long, then George is good. But I'm also happy to go with Benjamin. I intentionally didn't shift it in our work, in our space, which is all of it is online, and I just feel that it's a bit difficult to get to adjusted or accustomed to a different name. So feel free. I don't really mind it. But yeah, now in my life, since that time, I've been going by George. So, right. How am I? I'm doing quite fine. I'm in some super busy period because I'm starting a project which is actually starting tomorrow. So all of the preparations have been quite intense, and now it's starting. So I've been really seeking to stay in a peaceful flow these last days. Didn't do a great job, but yeah, good enough, I'd say. I'm still here, and then I feel that somehow it's working out. I'm very excited about this. This is a project here on Bonaire to bring youth together to connect with each other across different cultures, different languages, and find a shared vision for the island, and then design a project to help realize that vision. It's going to happen in the next 3 weeks. So yeah, I'm 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 grateful for all of the work that is happening here on the island, and I'm excited because well, I'm looking forward to being back in the Philippines. Probably towards the end of the summer for at least a little while. I'm excited because Amalia got her visa for the United States. We're going to be meeting each other there in June for 10 years. It's a 10-year visa. I was so amazed, like, wow. So that means she can travel to Bonaire via the States, which is easier than via the Netherlands. And we can meet there more often in the next 10 years. So that's pretty exciting news. I just literally got it like 30 minutes ago. That's
Wow, congratulations. Yeah, and thank you both, Robina and George, for sharing, and thank you all for just making the time to be here. As we all know that you're very busy and have so many things going on in your life. Thanks for still spending time with GENOA. And so for just to catch you up, Robina and George, we have activity and financial reports coming up right now as part of the AGM, the general annual meeting, the annual general meeting of GENOA. And then, of course, there will be space to discuss, ask questions, comments after each of the reports. And then we'll add some space at the end as well to share and talk a little bit more about how the ops team and the council can work together and what the ops team have discussed at our main focus of the year. So that would be it for this council call, and it won't go until the next hour, so 1 hour and 15 minutes more. I hope you can stay with us until the end. And yeah, no worries.
1 hour and 15 minutes more?
Yes, it's a 2 hours meeting in total because it's the AGM, and we packed a lot of contents for today. But if you cannot stay until the end, just let us know. No worries.
Yeah, I have some things to do. I'll be turning off my camera and just sort a few things while listening. I'm not sure if I can stay till the end because that would be 11 p.m. for me. But let's see how it goes.
Yes, we can always catch up after. Thank you. So yeah, let's start this off with the activity report. And while I'm opening my presentation, you can just take this time to settle yourself and take a few calm breaths. Can you let me know if you see my screen? Because I cannot see people.
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay, super. All right, so activity report of 2025. I'd love to start with just telling you about the team. And I need to move away this hovering bar somehow. Do you see a bar on the screen or no?
No, just
okay.
slides. Yeah, it's just
Okay.
yours.
All right. So yeah, we have so for 2025, we had the operations team with Keen and Na. We pretty much shared most of the tasks and worked together, but had a little bit of a different focus as well. Like as you know, Na is our treasurer. She focused a lot on the bookkeeping and support with the projects, and while I focus more on networking and comms. And then we have the council with Amena, Telea, Benjamin, and Karen. And Amena and Karen resigned at the end of last year, and with Amina's early this year. And we had just now welcome new member into the council. And we had a process with the council, which I'm going to touch on later as well. On projects, we have been still working with a volunteer, Igor, on website renovation, even though it's going very slow due to our capacity. And we also have been doing some grant writing for educational projects. And we have worked on also the resilience projects with Jen, and in which Trudy is also a part of. And we have at the beginning of the year, we had 2 council meetings, like the regular ones. And then later on, we had a series of 7 strategy meetings with the council. And Robina have been our amazing facilitator for these meetings, where we really dive into different conversations around councils, how we work, what we want to do, and contribute to the network. And coming out of the council is where we are now starting to involve new members into the council. And we also have me and Amena joining the NSC course. Amena joined as member of the Gen board, and I joined as GENOA. We also joined the Gen GA back in July, and we have still been keeping our operation meetings. It's not really based on a clear pattern, but more like we set it up weekly, but then we change it to whenever it's needed. And some ad hoc meetings for like resilience and other projects. Also meetings with like speakers of Ecovillage talk or things like that. I want to move into the activity, like the actual activity. We have this year, very exciting, we have both in-person and online meetings. And I will start with the in-person activities. And we had quite a good number of us coming to join the European Ecovillage gathering. You can see with the photo down here. There's Kalea, Amena, Na, myself, but there's also Brich and Petra, who's from Europe, is actually very involved in Asia. And we also had, I think, 2 other Asians. Oh no, wait, 5 other Asians we met in the gathering. And then you can see a few photos of what happened there. We had not only a keynote speech about the region, we also had a lot of workshops with Talea, with other projects in Gen, sharing workshops about what's happening in our region and in different projects that we are part of, like the Ubuntu to Kapwa and resilience. Yeah, so this was definitely one of the highlights, to connect in person with people in the network whom we have only met and worked online for the past few years. And then towards the end of the year, we had an opportunity through the Resilience Seed Fund to go to Thailand. And we did 1 half-day workshop in Bangkok called Living Regeneration. So it's basically an introduction to Ecovillage, but in an urban context. So we focus more on sharing examples of urban communities and initiatives, and also talk more about how the map of regeneration can be applied in urban context. It was a small yet very fun and lovely gathering with people there, and it happened in a slow food restaurant in Bangkok. And then towards the end of the month, November, right after that workshop, we had our first GENOA resilience training. It was facilitated by Trudy, Natalie, and me, and we brought the learnings, the activities from the Weaving Resilience course of Gen into real life setting with, we had 39 people in total, including us, and it happened in All Green Learning Center in Thailand. there's a lot of learnings, a lot of celebrations on this as well. And we have also sent out some articles and news and photos on this. We hope to be able to continue the resilience training, because through this, we also realize how important and connected it is to the situation that we are in now and to what communities and community leaders are looking for. Yeah, so hopefully we will have more of these coming up. Apart from those in-person events and activities that we took a very active part in, there were also other in-person events connected to us in the network, like Na hosted workshop in the Bangkok Climate Action Week. We also had a Pracha Legacy TOT in Thailand, facilitated by and her team. We also, with Na organizing and representing both Jen and Gaia at the Ecoversities gathering in November in Thailand. And DUP International Camp, like we have built this very tight relationship between Jen and the DUP movement in Asia. So we have been supporting the different country camps across Asia and the international camp in Thailand last year. There was also on the EDE/Ecovillage education front, there was also a lot of activities last year. We had the mini EDE in Japan, and we had the EDE in Bali in November 2025. Actually, I missed that. It's also followed by a TOT, a Gaia TOT that facilitated in Bali. And this last EDE in Thailand was early January 2026, but I put in anyway. Yeah, and this also signals that a lot of like in-person gatherings and educational programs are flourishing. And we'll see a lot in our network in this upcoming year as well. Like I already heard from Trudy mentioned earlier, a mini EDE in Australia, and Om's gonna do one in China. There might be one in India as well. So yeah, super excited. This is the last of my bits around in-person events. I'm gonna continue towards the end, and then I address everyone's questions and comments after. So let's move to online. So online activities are still our anchor, because most of our members cannot really afford or have the privilege of traveling to in-person. So we still keep a lot of the community calls and Ecovillage talks online, where we can really bring people together and learn from the network. So last year we did 2 community calls. The first one on the social dimension of how to work with shadows in community, how we can really embrace each other regardless of who we are and what we carry while we are in community. So we had that session with Kai Sawyer from Peace and Permaculture Dojo in Japan. And then towards the end of the year, we had another community course focusing on the Woundview dimension with the rights of nature. So honoring Earth's voice and how that have been manifesting in different sphere with our speakers coming from different organizations working on rights of nature. And we also have Talea joining to bring a more rooted indigenous approach. So that's the first key online project that we did, a community call. The second one is the Ecovillage Talk series. So you might have known that we started this Ecovillage Talk series back in 2024 with Gaia Ashram. And Na have been our constant hosts for this series. And in this year, 2025, we did 4 talks in total. The first one was actually with Amena, focusing on the inner dimension of how that will complement our work in Ecovillage. And then we had the next one afterwards with Reed Blossoms Nam Chung Ecovillage in Hong Kong. And then the third one was with Narara Ecovillage in Australia, focusing more on intergenerations connection and the role of women and elders. And then the 8th one we had was actually with Kavita and connected to her new community in Alaya Ecolodge in Bali. And it talks a lot about the wisdom of listening, applying in the context of doing ecovillage design and EDEs and stuff. So, and we already had one for the early part of this year, 2026. And these community calls and ecovillage talks are the key activities of weaving the networks that we're still gonna continue going forward. Very quick on numbers with the communication. So since Luvian stepped down as our communication coordinator in end of 2024, we have still keeping our presence through our newsletter and social media. However, with a more like laying low capacity. So we sent our newsletter every other month. We sent 6 newsletters last year. We had like a slightly increased number of people following and subscribing to us through across all channel. And usually whenever I put out a newsletter, I would also schedule posts to share all of the news in different social media, and then still using social media to promote our like community calls, ecovillage talks, and activities in person in the network. However, we would love to this year maybe find someone who is more experienced and have more skills when it comes to communication to support us in this sphere with social media and communications. And hopefully we'll also get better at this part. Yeah, this is the conclude of my activity report. I'm gonna stop my screen just to check if there are any comments or questions, and I'm happy to bring back any slides if you want to see.
That's pretty impressive, I find, on a near zero budget. A lot of engagements, a lot of activities.
So from me, I can't find a word. Comes from my throat laugh. Minga. Yeah, that's just like relish on top, you know. It's like super duper remarkable, you know. And of course, this is just images and a little narration. And behind each of these is a whole event, activity, networks, projects forming, marriages, babies being born, goodness knows what. So thank you so much for the work that you put together, Ken and Na and whoever else around the edges. It's just awesome. I know that in a past year, there's been like a document, PDF document, which essentially would have been a condensing of that or an amalgamation of all those slides as an annual report. And I'm just interested, you know, and you've got the newsletter subscribers interested if that's going to be a step forward or that's happened already.
We haven't produced a PDF annual report, Robina, and we have this slide and the recording from this AGM, which I will share with the network. We'll upload the video recording, and now since we have different tools that maybe can help us to kind of summarize what we mentioned on this presentation, we can also potentially put it into a more like report-like with more words and information version.
Yeah,
I haven't done that yet, but it's possible.
Yeah, and you have the photographs as well. And what I was yearning to see in the presentation was the context, like, oh, that's what the Ecovillage, the one that you did in November in Thailand, the EDE, the mini EDE, and I was looking at the roof and the structure, wow, it looks a bit like the place at Na that has there in Gaia Ashram. And how many of the, a lot of stimulation about the context of these trainings. So like a photograph of that, or wow, they're eating from that garden, those food, or something that gives it a cultural flavor would be really great if such a report was done, or something like Yep, that's me.
Thank you. I will pop in the chat the link to an article about that training as well, where you can see more photos and stuff.
Any other
I
comments?
have another
yeah.
Sorry. I have another quick question. At that training, there were loads of participants, and even the Bangkok one, and all of the photographs you showed were quite a contingent of people, and I'm interested at what percentage of those might have had some sort of sponsorship or some kind of funding from their organisations, that could enable them to get there. Not any empirical figures, but just like, about half of them had some support. Because that's super impressive, the number of attendees.
So the Bangkok workshop was free, so people just came of their own motivation and resources, and we can send you the resilience one. I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but we have it all written down.
Great, because that's also what enables something to be successful.
Yeah, and maybe now can mention when it comes to the financial report, but we give more than half of the participants get some sort of scholarships to this because we have this seed fund from the Resilience Project.
There it is. There's the key. Thank you. Yeah. All right.
Okay, Trudy, Talea, George, any other comments on the activity slides? Questions? Notes to bring up later in council meetings or in ops meetings?
Yeah, I have one question. I wasn't able to form some kind of a picture on the extent to which the activities that we organized or were very active in within GENOA or from GENOA were really activities that sort of actively aimed to bring together people from different countries within our region, or were they more within one particular country, mostly with participants within that country? I'm curious. I'm keen to have a bit of a picture on how that was with regards to the activities that we did the past year.
The in-person activities, I guess you mean?
Yes.
So the in-person activities were purely based on the funding from a resilience project. So that enabled us to do them, and they were both in Thailand. And they were shared. I mean, our networks obviously are very much based in our personal network. So Thailand is me and Vietnam is kin. So many participants were from Thailand and Vietnam. We did share it widely through the network. So anyone who could come was able to come if they wanted to. But we have a very documented like who we would accept for scholarships and their criteria. We have all of that stuff written down. And as I said, as Kin said, I'll go through the financials in a minute. But it was quite broad. I can't remember how many countries we had at the resilience training.
I put it in the chat. It's 11 countries.
Yeah. And we did aim at people who were in the Resilience Project and also people in GENOA, existing GENOA communities. Those were two of the criteria for getting scholarships because we really want to support the people who are in GENOA and present and work.
Nice. That sounds great. Awesome. 11 countries is great. Cool. Thanks.
I will say the question because those numbers, as well as the 11 countries that have been represented, are pretty impressive. Just that one event alone. Can I please ask both of you how you bowed financially? Because you've really been holding the space. Yes, of course, it makes sense for you both too when the events are closer to home. So to speak. But I understand as a coordinator and facilitator myself in many different arenas that it takes time and effort to get it to the event and to the stage and standard that I know the building resilience in challenging times events would have been to a really high standard, given the fact that I can see in those photos that there were some amazing practitioners already in the midst as well. So when you have practitioners of that ilk, one also likes to attend, how can I say, teachings and learnings and trainings that are of a certain standard, because you have this lived experience, right? So I guess I'm cutting to the chase. Have we served you both well financially? And if not, is there a way we can record these hours and efforts that you have made over at least the last 12 months, so that when, and I say when, our coffers are a little bit more healthier, we can acknowledge that?
That's a great question. We had our ops strategy meeting and both of us were like, do we know how many hours we worked? And both of us said no, because we stopped recording because we both are dedicated to GENOA. We used to record our hours, even as volunteers. So we had an idea, so we could see. And I used to do that for all my volunteer projects, but I've put literally all of them down now, apart from GENOA. So we can start recording hours again. I don't have a short answer for that. For the resilience training, we set a payment for facilitators, and Trudy was obviously there too. And the reason why we have some of those very good practitioners is because it's Trudy's network. So the people that came, and several people came and told us they came because it was the three of us, and they would have come regardless of the topic, which was very sweet. But the topic was obviously very present and in demand. So it's the thing that we wish to continue. From my point of view, I have a proper job now that pays me for doing enough, it pays me enough that I can do my community hours and be comfortable. So I'm okay. And I think for the facilitation from the financial point, I would like to pay us more, but we do have left over in the pot for resilience and we want to do more training. So it's kind of a paying it forward, I guess, for me. So yeah, and I'll pass to Ken.
I would just want to add that the reason we made it at that time is also because we want to tag along with other events that are going to happen anyway in Thailand. So Trudy and I are going to Thailand, were going to Thailand for the DUP camp anyway. So we would have just, book our flights and go there. So coming a few more days for the resilience training would not cost us extra, a lot of like extra travels cost. So that's one way that we try to kind of make it more economically. And we did get some support, some stipends for being facilitators. We didn't get financial support for the travel, but because we already had that plan, at least for me, I already had that plan, so it doesn't cost me extra. And that's one of the strategy I think we can continue like riding along with other big events in the region. It also makes sense for people to travel one and then attend maybe two big trainings. So it's kind of worthwhile of their carbon emission and their time. Yeah. Did you want to add anything along this line?
I think, I really appreciate both of you for holding the space for GENOA, for so long. I feel you, because this is also a pattern in GENOA since I was there as well. We've never been paid well. Like I've always been paid as a volunteer as well all the years that I put in for GENOA as well. And yeah, you have to work in this kind of sense. You work because you love it and you're passionate about it and you believe in the movement. And then you find ways like what both of Kin and Na have shared to supplement or offset, the work that you do with other projects and other travel, and you make it work, and so I totally agree with what both of you are doing. And of course, if there's a way we can do funded projects, and I've said to both of Kin and Na, that's something we should really focus on, like how we got funding for the resilience training. And it wasn't a very great payment, to be honest, either, for all the hours that we put in to prepare and then to hold the space. But it was something. But if we can do projects like that, it would really help to do the operational costs. And I really like the way that both of you have kind of scaled back the intensity of the work, but worked to do the work more efficiently. and things that have still have a significant impact, like the newsletter and social media and, the community calls. Like those are all not little, but they're all like not as significant amounts of work, but still have a ripple effect. And I think that's really important because it keeps the network alive. It shows that GENOA still has its finger on the pulse and is willing to share the news of the network. And, just also coming back to that notion of GENOA is both a network and it's also an organization. So the work of the network still happens through these activities. However, the funding of the operational costs of the organizations have not been met. And that is the biggest struggle that GENOA has had. And I think a lot of not-for-profits like GENOA has, and how we can break that cycle is the biggest question of all. So yeah, I really applaud both of you to continue doing, ensure those little ripple impacts happen. Yeah, and hope we can find a way to bring some income for GENOA.
Wonderful. Thank you for that, Trudy. I just want to welcome Amena, because I was actually just about to mention Amena. Amena's whakaaro, or her thinking throughout her time, and correct me if I'm wrong, Amena, but I'm so happy to have you here, is that, we also, as council members, should be thinking about strategies that actually create those, not only those income work streams, but if we're a part of them, then, they are creating ways and means of actually not only getting us to these events, facilitating and coordinating, but, they are actually, taking on elements of income for ourselves as individuals, because, essentially we can see in the activity proposal that we did a lot of work, and especially Nga and Kin. So I'm excited to bring on minds and hearts that have been in Gen and GENOA for a very, very long time, recognise those issues of the past and bring in some new ideas to bring us into the future where we are a bit more sustainable. So yeah, welcome, Amena.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Nice to see you all. I'm here in Goa, just about kind of waking up, and yeah, just happy to hear that the ideas are flowing, and I think just affirming that we all do become entrepreneurial in our energy, and yep, that's my thought for now. How can we, yes, do projects, but also keep projects flowing into continuity? Because I'm here in Goa, I think maybe Kin and Na know, I don't know if Trudy and Thalia and all know, we are involved in this startup Eco Ashram, this new Ecovillage project that Bridge and I are founding members of. And the main thrust is how do you really program the economic engine of communities through enterprise? And how do you invite enterprising people who also have heart and community? So it is an experiment, but I think it's going to do well, because most people who are joining the community are coming in with a startup idea that they want to create a product or a service with purpose, and but also generate income for themselves and the community. So if we can find those in Asia, those people who can join the network, I think there could be something that will be catalyzed.
Thank you, Amena. And yeah, just to catch you up, we are now at the activity report. And before that, we had with us, so we did a round of approving and celebrating the new members of the council. And after this, we're going to have the financial report, a juicy part, which I suspect there will be also a lot of questions and discussions coming afterward. And then we would love to have a round of actually sharing our appreciation to you, Amena. We plan to invite Karen to the call as well, but she couldn't join. She didn't reply. So yeah, kind of appreciating all of your time and your work with GENOA Council. Before we close the call with a short discussion around ops and council and ops focus. So that's the plan.
Thank you, Kin.
Thank you. Is there any other comments or questions around the activity report before we move to the financial report?
No, just really very well done to the both of you, Ken and Nat. Really awesome work.
Thank
I
you.
was moved actually the way Nat also spoke about the passion of both of you. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, and I think there's always where we can do better. And we'll also look into some of that later on in the call and see where we want to grow our edge as GENOA Ops in this year as well. But I think for both of us, it's a fulfilling mission. We feel really fulfilled being part and contributing to GENOA.
Yeah. So if there's no other points from the activity report, I will move into the, I'll move into the financial report. Let me just get this. Oh, I can't share my screen, Ken, unless you want to do the slides. I can't even.
I can share my screen. Do you want me to share the Canva?
Yes, please.
Coming up.
Okay, so welcome to the numbers. Next slide, please. We had a very minimal lot of activity this year as we don't have funding coming in or going out so much. The main thing that happened this year was the Weave and Resilience activities, and there's a detailed slide on that at the end of the summary. Our operating costs were just under 600 Australian dollars. And last year we reported in pounds, but I think because we're in Brisbane, we're meant to be reporting in Australian dollars. So we've moved it into that. Previously, we were reporting in pounds because most of our money was held in a pounds currency pot within WISE. And that's still the case. It's just our reporting's moved into AUD. So you'll see the common currency of all our reports is Australian dollars. So next slide, please. And yeah, if you have any questions, if you can pop them in the chat and then we'll pick them up at the end and we can go back to any slides. So this is the overall profit and loss. Friends of Gaia, we had 617 come in. Consultants, which was Robina for the council process. And then GENOA Inc. fees, which is our legal reporting fees that Trudy supports us with every year. And Weave and Resilience was actually £4,000 that came in. And then we spent about half of that. And we can look at those. As I said, we've got a detailed slide on that project. And then fiscal hosting, these were actually started in 2024. You might remember these were two projects from Sarah Quabaton. And they both finished because they had some things that ran over into 2025. They both, well, the UNDP was completely on budget and the eco-lease, which you'll see in a little bit, was a little bit under. So we had a deficit which came out of GENOA's fee, basically. Okay, next slide, please. These are our closing balances. So one note about multi-currency accounting, I use, for the sake of my sanity, I use average rates for the whole year when I'm doing the accounts, because if I have to use a currency rate every transaction, it gets quite tricky because Wise doesn't actually give me everything in AUD because we have these 5 currency pots. So we have these balances as at 31st of December 2025. And I actually have the current pot as well, because there's some obviously activity that's happened since December till now. So at the end of the year, we had 23,783 Australian dollars in our Wise accounts. And then next slide. Yeah, thanks. So as at the 31st of December, because basically I had a crazy busy 7-week run of events back to back. And at the end of the year, I was still in events. So these were the things that were owed in and out of Genoa, mainly to me and Kim, because I was the bank, because I've got a Thai bank account, I was the bank for the resilience funding. So I held all the cash and was doing all the Thai payments in and out. And I reconciled that after the end of December. And yeah, we can't add some payments to our Genoa official account, so we pay them out of our personal accounts and then move the money across. And our website hosting is one of those. We'll try and look at getting those kind of out of the Genoa main account this year again, but where I wasn't able to do it last year. So yeah, and then as at today, all those are settled, and we have, yeah, we're actually completely straight with me and Kin, so we have all our payments settled. And then resilience. And it's funny that Trudy, when we actually decided what the facilitators' payments were going to be, Kin and I didn't really have an idea of what we should pay ourselves. So we settled on a number, and we can actually adjust that because we have funds left over. So you can see here, we had funds in, which is £4,000 from the Resilience Project. We raised participant fees of 76,000. So as Ken mentioned, we had a tier. So we had a standard fee, and then we had a reduced fee, and then we had a full scholarship, and then we also had an abundance. And we had several, I think 4 of our participants chose the abundance ticket. So we allowed people to self-select. We sold some Ecovillage cards. So we had cards printed, which is also funded by the Resilience Project. I have them in my house still. So that's why it's good to do more resilience trainings in Thailand, so we can sell those. And Trudy, your cards are on the way to you with Mina. The venue costs, so AGLC is All Green Learning Centre, which is my friend's, I guess, project. It's a demonstration site in Khao Yai, which is not too far from Bangkok. And I think it worked quite well as a venue. And I did a debrief with her, and we're thinking about doing other events there. Outside of Genoa, but also within Genoa. I think it's an appropriate venue. Transportation costs were a little bit cheaper than we estimated. Expenses were cheaper than we estimated. Again, mainly because the venue in Bangkok is part of the Seed Saving Network from Jondai and Pan Pan. And no, these are all AUD. Oh, no, sorry. Yeah, this is true. This is baht. Because the project was run in baht. Yeah. So they were meant to charge us more than they charged us, and they were also an NGO with very giving approaches to doing things. So we just bought food, and they didn't charge us anything for the space. They actually refused to take money off me, but I hold lots of events, and I do lots of lunches there, kind of bringing people there to share the restaurant. And then the facilitation fees, that actually the budget included Thai support from some of my friends for transportation and for translation, and all of them declined payment, so they put that back in the pot. So yeah, we do have a pot left over, and if we want to review what the facilitators were paid, then I'm totally happy to do that. To be really honest, there wasn't really an approach. It was literally just me and Kin kind of working out what we should pay ourselves, because we didn't have a standard to go on. We haven't done a Genoa training for a really, really long time. I've never done a Genoa training before this one, so it was a really wonderful experience. So right now we have 100,000 for future resilience trainings or any trainings that's gone into the Genoa pot. So we're able to do projects and to have at least in Thailand, because I know the costs and I know a lot of people, we're able to do them at quite effective, I think, costs, which allows us to bring in more facilitation. And I agree with Trudy that the people that we bring in, I would always want to value them and to resource them appropriately and, well for the knowledge that they bring. I think that's my last slide. Is that it, Kim? Yes. Okay, so questions on finances? And those notes, those numbers are also I put the tables in the AGM notes, so you can also highlight and put questions on there and comments on there after this meeting if something comes up. Let's have a look in the chat. Yes, I'll add that it's in Bart onto the notes. George?
Yeah, well, amazing. Thank you for this presentation, especially with all the different currencies going on. Pretty wild. Am I understanding correctly that you didn't spend on total any GENOA money, but brought in money into the GENOA account?
We spent a little bit, $570.
But on the whole, right? Yeah. So you brought in money. Like that was pretty amazing. I mean, yeah, I think, wow. I mean, I was very impressed. Yeah. I'm a bit lost for words. Because I mean, if I'm not wrong, when we had a substantial budget coming in, mostly from Gaia, our money basically dropped year after year, right? And now we have not really any money to spend on operational expenses. We've got a little bit left over. And now we're actually generating income, like ending on a higher balance than we were last year. If I'm not wrong, am I getting it right?
I think overall you're getting it right, but I think I have to credit that to Trudy, who's part of the Resilience Project, because that funding came from the Resilience Project, and that's how we did the training, which is why we feel like focusing on projects and having a project pot, which we can control and allocate to, how we do it, how we decide to do it, is the way that we're going to be able to fund things. So I can pass to Trudy for comments on that, because we wouldn't have had that money if Trudy hadn't said, apply for this now.
Nice one. Yeah, I'd love to hear a little bit more about it, because apparently it was a successful strategy.
I mean, it's also because in the project we had budgeted for the resilience project. It was in the Keystone Communities project, which was the second project in Gen that we were doing from the resilience, to support trainings, local trainings or regional trainings, and like project prototypes in different countries and regions. So it just was a really obvious project for GENOA to go for. And yeah, and I feel like the impact, like it was just so good, like with such a, like really, it wasn't a huge amount of money, but we were able to really reach so many people across the region, and so in a way it was like a low-hanging fruit. So how can we try to find these kind of low-hanging fruits, $5,000, $10,000, pounds, and with people like Nar, Kin, myself, and all of you who have these amazing experiences and skills, we can do so much, so we don't always have to go for huge amounts of money, but we can really just target, like, through projects, seed funding, through our contacts. Oh, can we get like an ethical investor or someone to give, a philanthropist to give $5,000, $3,000, and then organizations like GENOA can do this kind of work that really ripples out. And I think these are the kinds of things we need to think about. And with that amount of money in the bank account too, like maybe there's also needs to be a strategy, like how much percentage needs to be always in the bank for GENOA, and how much of that budget can actually be used or spent on specific project that can ripple out. So it's great to have money in the bank, but it's also important to use it. Like with the state of the world right now, like we also need to use money because we don't know what's going to happen. I'm just saying that's like a total outside thing, but for us to also think about that,
Yeah, well said.
Yeah, and I would love a financial strategy. Now we have some money in the bank.
I think too, I mean, bringing on the new council members too, we can revert back to some of those earlier discussions that we've been having, you know, over the months, years about financial strategies and so forth. I think the biggest thing for me was getting some more council members on board, not only to have those discussions, but actually to utilise our existing networks, you know, for projects that are being funded. So, you know, we're on the track as far as I'm concerned. We've talked about it long enough to get it to this stage, and it's great that we've got a real live example of, you know, what that can look like in this resilience project. I think for me though, what as a council member, because I may not have been a part of those discussions, I'm probably going to sound like George, and I'm surprised. Okay. I'm surprised because I don't know where that funding came from, actually. And so moving forward, I think what we need to form as council members, you know, quite closely connected to operations is a financial strategy that actually includes you know, a schedule of, okay, we're getting ready to look at this fund now because we've got this project and so on and so forth. So we're starting to really hone in on what those opportunities look like, not only funding wise, but you know, just strategizing those schedules and those calendars at that particular time, if that all makes sense. So yeah, exciting times. And again, because we've got Trudy on the ground as well, our organisation is Australian. I still maintain to say that we haven't even tapped Australia yet when it comes to looking at those sort of future opportunities as well as, you know, our international networks. So yeah, well done all of you. Well done, Trudy, for bringing in those funds, you know, through your own international networks, and well done to our operations team yet again, stretching that budget to meet the outcomes, but also to have money still in the bank is, you know, for me, it's amazing. Well done, one and all.
Yeah, thank you. Endorsing everything everyone said. And the other thing I just want to acknowledge is the underpinning of local networks, local resource people, local resource materials that enable these budgets to be kept buoyant in the trainings. And the fact that you now out on the ground, that you actually pulled in from your networks as well for the participants, but particularly that Thailand training now, all of that support that you got locally. And it just endorses, you know, for the trainings to be in places where people are very connected on the ground to help the financial side of things. A lot of, non-monetary exchange and goodwill. So from me, but I'd say from our whole body here, give appreciation, not one-to-one, just you to them, but from all of us for their service to this work.
Any other questions or comments for financials from the last year as opposed to forward facing? And if you think of something, you can always email in as well afterwards. Yeah. Yeah, George?
Yeah, I just really want to appreciate again how the both of you were able to work to resilience project in the way you did. You focused your energies on it, and you made it a very successful, impactful, and even income generating event. I just really want to celebrate that. And in my view, that's the way. You know, you have few with a small capacity, but if you dedicate that capacity properly, you can make an impact, and it doesn't have to involve thousands or hundreds of thousands of people, but it's an impact, and it's good, and it's sustainable. And I think that's the way forward, to continue to focus our energies on sustainable, impactful projects or activities. So yeah, awesome. I think you set a great stage to continue forwards into this year.
And one of the main benefits of being in Thailand is things are affordable and it's easy to get in, and the visas are free from most countries. So it really helps.
Awesome.
And just to pick up on something that Robina mentioned, the IPC, we've already talked about the IPC, and we are planning to do something. We're not really sure what it is just yet, but we will figure it out. And we will have a talk as well. I'm going to talk, unless someone else is coming, I'm going to talk about GENOA at the IPC. And yeah, there's space to do a training there if we want to, but we have to move quite fast to organize it now. And we have the support of the organizers of the IPC, because we know Spencer and Michael quite well.
I think I've been asked to come and speak there, and again, depending on funds, I haven't actually said yes and I haven't said no. But apparently Tame Iti, Robina, Tame Iti is going to the IPC. So he's a well-known activist here in New Zealand. So that'll be interesting if they were able to secure Tame Iti to come to Thailand.
That tells
Not sure
me
if he's allowed out.
Exactly.
Not sure if he's allowed out of the country.
You have to sneak him in your backpack, Zalia. Yeah. So that tells me about the orientation of that hui, that convergence, and the depth of their commitment to local activism. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, Oma's also definitely in attendance because she promised Michael like 5 times. So I know this is probably a juicy topic, and I'd like just request that we park it for another call because we have 20 minutes and we need to complete the rest of our items. But yes, we have an ongoing conversation about the IPC and would love your input. And if anyone else has come in, Trudy, come in again. So yeah, we can pick that up again. Thank you.
Super. Thank you so much, Na. And yeah, we can find ways to bring these reports, the slides and the summaries of the report into the network as well afterwards. And I think talking about this always give us very exciting vibe about the futures and what it can hold. And from last year, I do see like a blend of in-person and online activities. It's quite healthy. We can like weaves a lot of the threads between the two. And I also sense and heard a lot more of excitement from the network when we meet people in person that they want to follow up from that connection with something either online or like a mini EDE or bringing people out from this country to another country to do training. So with all of these meeting in persons, it catalyzes more networking and more collaborations, which is very nice. Super. Okay, so is there anything else either on the activity report or the financial report before we close that part of the AGM? You can also always just send us question afterwards if you think of some, and we will send you the summaries of this call. We'll then move to our last 2 agenda in the call. We would love to maybe spend some time to just be with and appreciate Amena for all of her hard work and hard work for GENOA over the past years, and now that she's stepping down from the council. We might not see her as often anymore in meetings. So Amena, I don't know if you would like to maybe first send some message, some thoughts from your side before we share.
Yeah, thank you, Kim. We'll get my camera on. I'm on my phone. Yeah, I think it's just walking a bit away from GENOA is not walking away from family. It's just reprioritizing my own evolution in a way. And I'm just very grateful for everything that I have received as a gift from this network and from all of you. And I do feel that we'll stay connected to support each other's journey wherever possible. And yeah, I think with my emphasis now on wishing to develop the regenerative India movement, I think there's a lot of possibility of bringing the work of GENOA to India. And we've just renamed it not as Gen, but to do something that is more universally accepted in India. Because last year when we did the Gen Bharat movement, I think the field is not ready for an international organizational approach. And it needs to be more rooted in something that's local. So it's just a slight change in strategy, personal and for the work. And yeah, I still feel I belong here. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Amena. We're gonna miss your attunement and your healing energy. Yeah, I invite everyone to, if you want to join us in any sharing songs, however, that's alive in your heart at the moment, to share with Amena.
Thank you, Amena. I will miss your bringing the belly of the Earth Mother and the fine-tunedness of the natural world through into our strategic thinking and grounded planning mode. I know we've still got that image that you created that AI helped embellish, which is the foundation of this work. I'd like to also know that what you're evolving in India, if there's some way that you would give us a little report every now and again, or some images and essences of some of the projects that emerge out of that, like connecting in that kind of way. Thank you for everything. That's me.
Yes, for sure, Robina. I will be happy to share. And thank you for your heartwarming words. Thank you.
Yeah, maybe I can go next. I mean, I'm just looking at you and I realized how much you really do feel like family, and it's been for me specifically really nice to have you and to meet with you in this context, to work together on GENOA, and I'm certain that this won't be the last place or space where we'll meet and collaborate. And I'm very grateful for the shared journey that we've had. I'm grateful that you were here, and I appreciate what I'm hearing about Gen India, or evolving into regenerative India. Yeah, lovely how you are able to adjust and refine the approach according to your, well, evolving knowledge, discovery of the context, and adjusting to that. I'm also looking forward to hearing how that will unfold, and how I can be woven into it. And yeah, we'll definitely keep connected, keep weaving. Thank you, Amena.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm still getting used to calling you George. It's been
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would have changed it to Benjamin, but it just pops up that way. But feel free to call me Benjamin, definitely.
Yeah, I was also remembering Garvish. So, but my reason for being in Gen is George. Years ago, I think 2014, 2015, maybe. I don't know when Pai was doing stuff at the Philippines, his eco-village. That's when I was introduced to the concept. And he's the one who encouraged me to join the Gen board. So I really, lots of gratitude to you for supporting this journey of mine. And currently, I'm in Goa, and we are trying to activate the Regenerating Goa, but through the lens of tourism, regenerative tourism. It's a very big topic here with the government and the local communities, because Goa is very fast transforming from being a collective of villages to a metropolis, which nobody really wants. So I think we are really at a good time to bring in a lot of resources from our global networks to support this journey. And so we have two projects now, one in the north of Goa, one in the south, and we are just seeding one community dedicated to the feminine divine, essentially Mother Earth, and a lot of healing work. So there are a lot of women I met yesterday who are very keen to live in community. So I think that should happen in the next few months. And I'll keep you updated, Robina. Maybe we'll have you here at some point next year. Wishing to also host a gathering here in maybe in Goa, maybe next year or whenever possible for the network. So, yeah. Thank you.
I'd like to step in as well, to share something that I don't want to repeat what others have said, but something that really stay with me. It's your persistent presence with Jen through the years, like since I knew you, since I think it's 2021, is it? When DJ was here as well, and you've always been there. Like I would go to NHC meeting where I'm the only one from the region, and then you would be there with me at the beginning holding GENOA, and then later Jen, and also with the council meeting, you had always been there. And when we were navigating through different waters in Jen's, you were also there. And I really admired that persistence and all of the hearts that you have put into not only GENOA, but also Jen as the bigger network. And also the flexibility of trying different things that you have introduced into our circle. And I'm sure we're still going to be in touch and be in communication on many different topics, and feel free to reach out to us, and particularly me, at any time. Thanks, Amena.
Thank you, Kane. You made it possible for me to be there. I think communication is such an important link for people to feel connected, and you're quite a master of it. So thank you so much.
Yeah, I also want to say, Amena, thank you for your presence and your guidance and seeing things from another perspective. And also, I think coming in this group later into Jen, kind of the same time as me, wandering through the same things. So yeah, I'll be in Genoa. I might see you in Jen a little bit, but let's please stay in touch. And I will definitely be coming to India to visit you at some point.
Yes, thank you, Na. Looking forward to having you here. And thank you for all the catalyzing you're doing in Thailand.
Okay, I think I'll jump in here. I'm going to sing a song. This is how I feel about Amena right now. Okay. Ke waiata, ke Amena, Inewi wakai, waka mea te pai, te whare, whangatai. Ume purotu, ine ngako, ine rangi mari. Utipaya, Utipaya, Utia, Tia. She is a woman, a spiritual woman of the world that we all need. But thank you, dear sister. Thank you for your beautiful articulation of all the wonderful ideas that we have discussed and dreamt, and some have been actioned and some we've set aside for another day. I'm so excited to see you taking action with some of your own dreams, yours and Bridges, and I await the wonderful successes that come of that, and await on the side to be a part of that as the global family that you will always have, ki te ao of this world and of this community. You've taught me so much. In fact, I always hang off every word you say because of the way that you articulate and communicate out there to us all. It has a beautiful melody that not only soothes and calms, but it also helps us to dream and expand and not be afraid to think of these ideas as regenerative and needed in this world, not only today, but in the future. So, sister, I know that we will see each other many, many, many times, both in the future. And I too hope to attend any gatherings. Let us know regarding, the Gora project, and just wishing you, Bridge, and your community, your local people on the ground, and the whole idea to come to fruition, to be an example and a model for us all. So thank you so much for all of your dedication, commitment, holding space, wisdom, and for being the woman of the world.
Right.
Thank you, Thalia, for your blessings. I've always felt very deeply our sisterhood. I think it's the indigenous wisdom and heart that weaves us together. And I've learned so much from you, and I wish to continue that and bring you to some of the tribal communities here in Goa that we are working with. And do an exchange and build borderless Asia, bioregional borderless Asia, going right up to where you are. So looking forward to that. Thank you. Lots of love.
I know our time is running out, so I'll be brief because so much has been said, Amena, and all the wonderful things that you are and that you do. And reflecting when I first met you, and I think that was in 2018 in Oroville with Kosha when we were doing the TOT, and I remember just when I met you, just feeling like there is something that's going to happen with you and for GENOA and the network. So it's been really beautiful to witness all the things you've done and all the roles that you've stepped into and holding space. And I feel like that's what you do really well. You bring your wisdom, you hold the space, and you're patient, and just so kind and allowing the young energies and the fresh energies to come in and just always listening. Yeah, so but I also resonate with you what you said that, you're stepping out because you've got to do this work for yourself, but you're not really going to go because like all of us, we say we step out, but we're still somehow there energetically, but also in doing the work we do on the ground in our local areas. And that is also so important. And to carry out that work in your local area is amazing. And yeah, I'd love to hear the stories, and I'm sure you'll share all the stories and the photos as you go along. And yeah, just know that you're held as well by all of us. And if you need support, we are here. So thank you. Big hugs.
Thank you, Trudy. You've been such an inspiration. So I'll keep looking at you for guidance. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Amina, and thanks everyone. This just feels so heartwarming to be able to celebrate you and celebrate your work and also kind of re-tighten the connections through everyone's sharings and stories. Very beautiful. We feel like we would love to keep this very lovely energy to bring this meeting to a close with this. And we'll send you an email after with some bullet points of what Nai and I discussed on ops strategy this year, just to kind of warm you up for the next meeting where we can maybe discuss more about 2026 for GENOA. And in our meeting calendar, the next council meeting will be April 8th. So I send an email and then we can discuss all about it after. And for now, let's just enjoy our presence, our energy together with a round of checkouts. And I would love for us all to maybe plant some seeds for GENOA for 2026 with this checkout round. So you can think of what seeds you want to plant in this field of the regional network, the field that we are all together. Like imagine a big, vast field in front of you in the early spring, ready to receive any seeds. What would you plant? And whoever's ready, you can start and we can do more like popcorn style. And at the end, maybe we take another group photo with Amena as well.
Ken, sorry, you said what's do we want to play? Seeds.
What seed you want to plant?
Want to plant or play?
Plant. Sorry, my English. Yeah, like plant
No,
a seed.
not your English, just your accent and my Kiwi, different accent in hearing. Thank you, I got it.
Okay, I'm going to go first with an easy one. I'm planting the seed for the IPC in Thailand this year to have as many of the faces here and other connections from the GENOA network present to do something together.
I'll go next. I want to plant the seed of being together and carrying each other upwards, regardless of how challenging the world is going to look like this year.
Oh, beautiful. This sense that lives in me is that it's a beautiful plant that has started growing over the course of last year, and it feels very precious to me. And my feeling is to really continue to nurture and strengthen, support the growth of that plant. That is my feeling for the field, for the plant growing in the field.
For me, the seed I plant is revisiting and re-empowering our three key objectives and creating a minimum of 2 projects that that embody those objectives and search for the funding sources that can enable them to happen.
Dalia is going, but her planting of seeds are a series of projects that we all co-create and co-facilitate in alignment to other events like the IPC. We may wish to attend and facilitate workshops at. We have all the skills to manifest, and the future is bright. Aho. And mine is a similar one of the seed of just one. It doesn't have to be a lot, just one source of funding that comes through this year that will enable a rippling impact within our region. And it can be small, but just one, at least one.
Amena, would you like to flank? Don't know if you're speaking. You're muted.
Yes, I was just typing it out also before leaving. So I think my seeds are some seeds that are already being planted in the network, and I feel the more of the similar seeds we plant, the more potential for them to really bloom. So we do it collectively. So my seed is Dare to Trust, Heart Coherence, and a regenerative enterprise idea for Jen and Genoa.
Thank you. Yeah, if you can open your camera, I'm gonna take a last photo as we're saying goodbye. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your time and your effort, your love. Thank you for your work on the ground. Okay, you're well. See you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.